Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. As-salatu was-salamu ala ashrafil anbiya'i wal mursaleen wa ala alihi wa ashabihi ajma'in. Allahumma ja'alna minhum minal ladhina amanu wa amilus salihati wa tawasaw bil haqqi wa tawasaw bis sabr. Ameen ya rabbal alameen. ثم أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي ربي زدنا علما اللهم فقهنا في الدين اللهم انفعنا بما علمتنا وعلمنا ما ينفعنا وزدنا علما اللهم ثبتنا عند الموت بلا إله إلا الله آمين يا رب العالمين ربي يسر ولا تؤسر وتمم بالخير. We are on lesson number 37 by the reason of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and our topic is going to be fail lazim and muttadi. So fail can be of two kinds. The verb that we conjugate, right? They could be of two kinds. Either they could be lazim or muttadi. So what's the difference? That's inshallah we are going to learn. Since we finished the topic, the passive voice, right? So that's why I skip one chapter in between, because I thought the passive is fresh in our mind, so we can do this chapter, and then we can go back the one that we have skipped. So transitivity. You may have noticed that the role of naib file, we know what is naib file, right? So whenever we have passive sentence, we do not have a doer, rather we have a naib file, and this naib file can be inside the fail or outside the fail, right? For example, when I say Nasara, he helped, right? So now he is the doer. But when I say Nusira, he was helped. Now this he is not the doer anymore. Rather, he is the naib file. Rather, he is the mafulun bihi, basically. He is done to. He is the object that received the help, right? So I'm hoping that everyone is clear on that concept. And this naib file could be inside and outside. As we know that when there is huwa and hiya version, we can look for outside file. In the same way, in passive, we can look for naib file outside. Okay, so we have noticed that the role of naib file that done to in a passive sentence is similar to the role of mafulun bihi in a non-passive sentence, though the label and the status are different. How they are different? Because our file is supposed to be always rafa, right? But this done to, which is object, which is mafulun bihi. So mafulun bihi, the status is what? Nasab. So their status are different. A label and status, both are different, right? They both play the role of the thing, person that is affected by the fail. Consider the following example. In the sentence, when I say Hamza ate the cookie, right? So we know that Hamza is the doer, right? And the action happened. What is the action of eating? And what is eaten? The cookie. So basically the cookie is mafulun bihi over here, right? And this is the doer. But when we say the cookie was eaten, right? Now it is passive. So we see that mafulun bihi this cookie, the knife file, the done to is there, but doer is not there, right? So the cookie was eaten. So this is our knife file over here. The word cookie is the thing that is affected by the action, and this sentence is passive. So cookie is the knife file. Again, the label differ, but the role that a maf'ulun bihi and knife file play are very similar. Knowing this, it will not surprise you to know that when converting a non-passive sentence to a passive sentence, what was the maf'ulun bihi in the non-passive version become the knife file in the passive version. Now recall that every passive sentence must have a knife file, right? Because we know that in our field, the doer is always there, right? The hidden pronoun is there, right? So basically in passive, it would be the knife file. So this means that if a sentence does not have a maf'ulun bihi, now this is very important. If a sentence does not have a maf'ulun bihi, it cannot be made passive while retaining the same meaning. So we can convert the sentence into passive only when this sentence has maf'ulun bihi. Otherwise, we can't do that. So that's why not every verb would be able to turn into passive sentence. Is that clear to everyone? This is because, this is because if there is no maf'ulun bihi, there is nothing that can be turned into naib file. Recall that the maf'ulun bihi is optional, right? Not in every sentence we require maf'ulun bihi, but it gives us more information. A sentence made up of a fail and a file is considered a complete sentence. We know that, right? In some cases, a sentence lacks maf'ulun bihi simply because the speaker choose not to mention it. In other cases, a sentence lacks a maf'ulun bihi because the fail in the sentence cannot take a maf'ulun bihi. A fail that cannot take a maf'ulun bihi is called fail lazim. So, not every fail can have maf'ulun bihi, and we will see a lot of examples today. So when a fail cannot take maf'ulun bihi, then this fail is called fail lazim, because action is happening to itself. It's not affecting anything. There is no done to, there is no maf'ulun bihi, there is no object required. So now let's see what is fail lazim. A fail lazim is a fail that cannot take a maf'ulun bihi. This is because the nature of the action is such that it only affects the file and cannot affect anything external. For example, to sleep. To sleep means to sleep, right? Someone is sleeping. Now, would be an example of fail lazim. He cannot, he is sleeping, right? If I say I slept, now the action is happening only towards me. There is no done to, right? There is no maf'ul required for that. So that's why this is an example of fail lazim. This is because the action of sleeping only affects the file. It is not possible to sleep someone else or to sleep something. A good way to test whether a fail is lazim is to use something and someone. Okay, so now this is very kind of quick and shortcut to know if the fail is lazim and lazim or mutaddi. So what's gonna happen whenever we see a verb, we're gonna put something or someone at the end without using any preposition. For example, I can say that I slept on my bed, right? Then it could be turned into passive, right? But I'm not allowed to put any preposition. So I slept something or someone. If I say I slept, and then I'm gonna check if it is lazim or mutaddi. So right after I need to put something or someone. So I slept something or someone. Does it make sense? No, right?
No.
So that's why it is the example of fail lazim. And remember, we are not allowed to add any preposition. As I said, we can say I slept on my bed, right? And then we can say the bed is being slept on, right? Then we can convert that into passive. But we are not allowed to put any preposition if we are just testing that fail is lazim or mutaddi. Now, next example, I read something, or someone, it will not make sense over here, right? I read something. So this is the example of what? Fail lazim or mutaddi? Now, over here, something is making sense, right? So when something or someone makes sense with the sentence, then this sentence, this fail should be labeled as mutaddi. Fail mutaddi. Okay, and when something or someone doesn't make sense with that fail, then it should be labeled as lazim. Clear so far? Humaira, are you clear?
Yes, alhamdulillah.
Okay. So let us put the fail to fall into test now. I fell something or I fell someone. Does it make sense?
No.
No. So what is that fail then?
Lazim.
Lazim. Okay, I can say I fell on the ground. Remember,
On,
right?
if you put it, it'll make. But no, you don't have to put anything.
Yes, we cannot add any preposition. Okay, so I felt something is not making sense. So that's why this is the example of fail lazim.
Yes.
Okay, now next one. I laughed something. Again, I laughed at someone will make sense, right? But we are not going to add any preposition. I laughed something or I laughed someone. Make sense or not?
No, doesn't make sense.
No, right? So that means this is the example of fail lazim. Okay, now a fail mutaddi is the opposite of fail lazim. It is a fail that can take a maf'ulun bihi. This is because the nature of the action is such that it affects something else or someone else. To figure out if a fail is mutaddi, use the same test mentioned previously. This type of fail can be made passive. For example, I say, I taught someone something, right? Both is making sense. So now this is the example of fail mutaddi. I bought something, fail mutaddi, right? So these are the quick and easy way to figure it out. Now let's do some practice over here. So kataba mean he wrote. So what do you think? He wrote.
It's fail mutaddi because
he wrote something, right? Will make
someone,
sense,
yeah.
right? So then we can say it mutaddi. And what is the English term for that? Mutaddi is basically transitive,
Transitive and non-transitive.
and intransitive. Okay, so if you want to, it's better that we can stick to Arabic term,
Yeah.
but
If you want Arabic,
even-
Arabic, you say.
sorry,
He is transitive.
lazim is intransitive and mutaddi is transitive.
Yeah.
Okay, so when
Sorry, what is it? Lazim is,
transitive is written over here, Fumaira.
oh, yeah, sorry.
Yeah, it's written here. So mutaddi is the English translation is transitive,
Transitive.
and for lazim intransitive. So he wrote something will make sense, right? So that's why this is the example of mutaddi.
Yes.
Now nama mean he slept.
Left. That's
Mutaddi.
that's lazim.
Intransitive
Lazim.
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 Very good, very good. Lazim. Now
What?
mata, he died.
That's also
Intransitive.
Intransitive.
Lazim.
Very good, Sarish. Okay, jara mean he ran.
Intransitive.
It's lazim too.
Yeah,
Lazim.
he ran over something or someone, right? But we are not allowed to put any preposition. So he ran something, doesn't make sense. So that's the example of intransitive lazim.
Lazim.
Akhraja,
Mutaddi.
Transitive.
That's
he kicked
transitive.
out something or someone, makes sense, right? So this is
Yeah.
mutaddi.
Mutaddi.
Qala, he said.
Mutaddi.
Transitive.
Mutaddi. Mutaddi, he said something or someone.
Yeah.
He said something,
Mhm.
right? Will make sense. So this is the example of mutaddi. Sa'ada, he helped. He
Mutaddi.
helped
Transitive.
someone.
Mutaddi. Mutaddi, he
Mutaddi,
helped
very
somebody.
good.
Mhm.
Ghasala, he washed.
Yeah, that's also
He
Mutaddi.
washed
Transitive.
someone or something,
Mutaddi.
right? So mutaddi.
Mutaddi.
Istatwa'a,
Lazim.
he
Lazim.
was able. Something, someone doesn't make sense, right? So this is intransitive. So lazim, right?
Mhm.
Okay, qala again came. Now number 11, ya'kulu,
Yakulu.
Transitive.
That's lazim.
he eats something or someone, so mutaddi. He eats something, so making sense, right? So this is mutaddi. Yaqumu, he stands.
Lazim.
Lazim.
Lazim, very good. So intransitive. Dhahaba, he went.
Mutaddi.
Mutaddi.
He went
No.
something. He
No,
went
that's-
something or someone. Does it make sense?
That's
No.
lazim.
Lazim.
No,
Lazim.
so
That's
that makes
lazim.
lazim, intransitive. Okay. Yaf'alu, he does. He does something.
Lazim.
That's
Lazim.
He does
No.
something.
Mutaddi.
Oh, he does
This is
something or
mutaddi.
he does some.
something
He
to
does
someone.
someone.
No, but something. We can
He
put
does
something
something.
else.
That's
He does
mutaddi.
something.
Transitive.
No, mutaddi.
Oh,
He
mutaddi.
does
Yeah,
something
yeah.
is making sense
Yeah,
here,
yeah.
right? He does something.
Mutaddi.
So that is the example of mutaddi. Okay. Now arada, he
Mutaddi.
wanted.
Mutaddi.
Yes, he wanted something. So mutaddi. Then we have jalasa, he sat.
That's lazim.
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 Lazim. He sat on a chair will make
Yeah.
sense, but he sat something will not make sense, right? So he said something or someone, he made someone sat, but we are not allowed to put anything extra, right? So something or someone directly you need to put with the fail, and he said something doesn't make sense here. So this is intransitive lazim.
Lazim.
Then number 17, ahsana, he beautified something.
Mutaddi. That's
Mutaddi.
mutaddi.
Muta'addi, very good, muta'addi. Okay, then we have yadribu, he hits.
Mutaddi.
Muta'addi, very good. Allama, he taught.
Mutaddi.
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 Very good. Alima, he
Mutaddi.
knew.
Mutaddi.
Very good, muta'addi. Ya'khudha,
متعدي
متعدي
he takes something, right? So muta'addi. Very good. Yarfa'u, he raises.
متعدي
متعدي
Very good. Nazala, he came
لازم
down.
لازم
Lazim, intransitive. Yanamu, he sleeps.
لازم
لازم
Lazim. Okay. So that was a good exercise. Now we have some more here.
right.
To cry.
That's لازم
He
Lazim.
he
Lazim.
cries something, someone doesn't make sense, right? So lazim.
لازم
To read.
متعدي
متعدي
Yes. Muta'addi. Okay, so this is how
متعدي
muta'ad. Then we have shadda here. Muta'addi. We can just write without ya or with ya. Both are fine. Okay, then we have to despair.
لازم
That's لازم
To despair something or someone doesn't make sense, right?
Lazim.
So this is lazim. To eat.
متعدي
متعدي
Muta'addi. Very good. To write.
متعدي
متعدي
Very good. To wash.
متعدي
متعدي
Very good. To carry.
متعدي
Muta'addi. Very
متعدي
good. To worry.
لازم
To worry
he,
about something
مت-
متعدي
he worried something, right? So it makes sense. So
worry
muta'addi.
about something
To hold.
متعدي
متعدي.
Very good. Very good. Okay, so it's not hard, right? It's easy to follow the concept. Now, fail mutaddi li maf'ulaini. What does that mean? And you can understand that by just
has two مفعولين two
yeah, two
متعدد
maf'ul.
many مفعول به
Yes. Al-fi'lu, the fi'l, al-mutaddi, which is mutaddi, right? So this is mawsuf sifa basically. So the fi'l which is mutaddi, li maf'ulaini, for two, mutaddi for two maf'uls. Meaning that a fi'l mutaddi, sometimes, not all mutaddi fi'l need two maf'ul, but some fi'l mutaddi, they need two maf'uls. So basically we will see the example of the fi'l mutaddi which takes more than two maf'uls. Okay, so what does that mean? That fi'l mutaddi, not every fi'l mutaddi will take two maf'ul, but some fi'l they need basically two maf'uls, right? And then we can see how we are going to label them. Okay, so it says fi'l mutaddi li maf'ulain is a fi'l that can take two maf'ulun bihi. It is relevant to our study of passive because a passive sentence can only have one naib file. When a mutaddi, fi'l mutaddi ala maf'ulain appears in the passive form, it takes one naib file and one maf'ulun bihi. This is only circumstance in which you will find a maf'ulun bihi in a passive sentence. Now take a look at this example. Ullimna mantiqat twairi. So ullimna, what is ullimna? What kind of fi'l it is?
ماضي
Fi'lun madin mabni lil
مبني للمجهول
majhul. And what is this na over here?
the
This
night
naib file
Naib file. Naib file, right? So this is basically naib file. And then mantiqat twairi. So what is the status of mantiqa?
nasab
Nasab, right? And mantiqat
Maf'ul.
twairi is what kind of connection they are having?
Idafa.
Idafa fragment, right? The speech of the birds, Idafa fragment. And now manti, why it is mansoob?
Because it's
Because
maful.
maful, it is mafulun bihi,
Mhm.
right? So notice that there is one knife file, nahnu, inside the ulimna, and one mafulun bihi. So basically, allama is a verb that needs two mafulun bihi. Okay, so this is the kind of fail which always require two mafulun bihi. And now we can see that when it is passive, then we have one knife file, and the other maful turn into what? We are going to label it as a mafulun bihi, right? Even though we know that in a regular verb that does not need two maful, what gonna happen? The mafulun bihi is basically going to be the nai file, right? In a passive sentence. In a passive sentence, we do not have a mafulun bihi. Rather, the mafulun bihi turn into nai file. But when a fail required two mafuls, then this is going to happen. That one would be labeled as nai file, and the other is going to be labeled as mafulun bihi. Clear? Okay. So now this is basically the summary of the passive that we learned last class, right? So that is just a quick review. That when we have istaghfara fi'lun madin, this is a regular fi'l madi, right? And we are turning into passive, then it will become ustughfira. And who can tell me like what we are doing over here? What is the quick and easy way to describe that when we are turning fi'l madi into a passive? What do we do? Stepwise.
Will be starting with a dhamma, and then the third letter will have dhamma, and
No, the third letter will have.
The middle letter will have
Kasra.
Oh, sorry. You are saying third letter. Yeah, okay. Third letter always. We do not touch third letter, right? So it's gonna always be with fatha, because this is basically the marker of fi'l madi, right? Yeah. Then middle root letter.
Kasra.
and then the kasra.
Exactly. So middle root letter. So basically, we're gonna look for three root letters, right? So the very beginning, whatever we have, because sometimes we can have extra letters other than the three root letters, right? For example, over here, what are the root letter? Ghain, fa, and ra. These are the root letter, and this basically this alif, sin, and ta, they are extras, right? So whatever is the first letter, we are going to give it a dhamma, and the last letter we are not going to touch. It's gonna remain as it is. Then we need to look for middle root letter, and we are going to give this a kasra. And what else we are supposed to do? If there is sukoon, what we do?
It will remain as it
sukoon.
is.
Okay, and if it is any fatha or any kasra,
Any fatha kasra between the middle letter and the first letter, that's gonna take dhamma.
yes. Okay, because basically u and e are the sounds that can give us a like a clue that this is passive, right? So first letter is u, middle letter is e, and whatever is left behind, why it is giving sound over here?
Because ta is gonna get u sound.
Because
And
ta is
sukoon is gonna remain sukoon, but ta is gonna get this dhamma. Everything in between is gonna get dhamma beside the sukoon.
Exactly. In Madi, in Madi, whatever, if there is any other haraka, it takes U sound, right? So one more time. The very first letter, U sound. Last letter we do not touch. It will remain fatha. Middle root letter will get kasra.
Kasra.
Skoon remains skoon. And if there is any other harika, that change into U sound.
U sound.
This is Madi, right? The Mudariya would be different. So this is, we are talking about Madi. Can someone say that? Sarish, can you try? What did I just said? Sarish, are you there?
I don't.
Let me try.
Okay, anyone else?
I can try with my broken voice. Okay, so in Mudaria, no, in Madi.
In Madi, yeah.
In Madi for Ferlazi, they will take the U sound will be actually no.
The very
the
first
second,
letter
the
will
very
take
first letter
U
will
sound.
have Dhamma. The second root letter will have Kasra. The last root letter will remain intact. Any sukun that we have will remain unchanged, and any other harakat that we have will have Dhamma sound.
Perfect. Perfect. Okay. Someone else need to say as well, because when we will say, then it will stick to our mind, inshallah. So Humaira, you wanna try?
Sure, inshallah. So in Fil Madi, you look for the root letter.
So the root letter will take a dhamma, and the first root letter will take a dhamma. The second,
Humaira, not root letter, because I just said that in this example, you know, this alif is not the root letter in the beginning, right? These are the extra letters. So alif, sin, and ta, these are all three extra letters.
So
the first root letter is ghain, gha, this ghain, and the second root letter is fa over here, and the third one is ra. So that's why we're not gonna say root letter, rather we can say the first letter, right?
The first letter of the word will take a dhamma, and the third letter will take a dhamma too.
No, third root letter you mean, right?
Third root, no, the third letter.
No, don't say third letter. You can say second root letter. Second root letter will take kasra.
First letter will take a
Dhamma, and second root letter will take a kasra, and the last root letter will remain same.
Exactly, and sukoon remains
and
sukoon.
sukoon remains sukoon.
And if there is any other letter in between having a different harika,
it
like,
will take a dhamma.
Exactly, we need to change that into a dhamma.
So one more time, first letter in Fi'l Madi, first letter will take a dhamma. The second root letter will take a kasra, and the third root letter will remain same. Sukoon remains same, and any other letter that has any other i'rab will change to dhamma.
Exactly.
Alhamdulillah.
Okay. Alhamdulillah. So we need to say that over and over, and just grab any fail, and we need to just apply it, and inshallah that is going to make us strong. Okay, now what is
I have just one small question. Does the second root letter and the last root letter, they always come like together? They don't, and there's never a letter in between them, or is there a kind of fail?
Second and third?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't think so. Between first root letter and the second root letter, sometimes ta is added in some families, right? For example, we have Ikpataraba family. So Ikpataraba. We say Quran Pak Iqtaraba as-Sa'ata, right? And this is the root letter are Kaf, Ra, and Ba, Kareeb, right? So after the first root letter, Ta came between. But I don't think so there is any Bab that second and third, anything comes in between. Okay?
Okay. So we
After
got
the first root letter, yes, there are many. In this example, all three letters, Ghain, Fa, and Ra, all three are together. Nothing came in between. Whatever is extra, they are all in the beginning. Alif, Sin, and Ta.
right. Okay. So we're gonna do the same way, Iqtaraba. We're gonna put Dhamma on the first letter, and then Ra is gonna get Kasra, and Ta is gonna get also Dhamma. Uqturiba.
Yeah, Uqturiba, very good. So you're gonna give it a Dhamma. This one remain Fatha, right? Because this is the last letter. And then middle one will take a Kasra, right? And then Skoon remains Skoon. And this Ta, it has Fatha, I'm gonna change into Dhamma. So it will become Uqturiba.
Jazakallah.
Very okay. Now moving to Mudariya. So istaghfara become yastaghfiru. This is the our regular one, right? Yastaghfiru. And in passive, we know that if it is Mudariya, then what sounds are prominent? U and A. U and A, right? So basically the same rule gonna apply, but we were applying in the Madi. Just we need to give that whatever extra harika we see, we are going to change into Fatha. That's all, right? In Madi, we were changing into U sound, into Dhamma. In Mudariya, we are going to change into A sound. The rest remains same. So when we do that, then the first letter, not root letter. So the first letter is Ya. I'm gonna give this U sound, Dhamma, right? And then I can look, the last letter gonna remain same. So first I can go the first and last, right? So first I'm gonna give Dhamma, the last I'm gonna just leave like that. Now I need to look for the middle root letter. So Ghain, Fa, and Ra are the middle root letter, and the middle root letter, now I need to give it a Fatha, right? And now this after Ya, the next letter has Skoon. It will remain Skoon. Now next letter has Fatha. So I do not have to do any changes because this is the requirement, right? So that Fatha remain Fatha then. If it was U sound or E sound, right? Then I have to change into Fatha. But it is already Fatha, so I don't have to make any changes. So it will become Yustaghfaru, right? Yustaghfaru. Make sense?
Yes. Can we do the translation? Istaghfara, what does that mean?
Istaghfara, we say istaghfar, right? So whenever this Ista family, whenever there is Ista, this Alif, Sin, and Ta extra, so basically this Ista means seeking, begging, crying, asking, wishing, desiring, right? So whatever you want to say. Now, Ista, what is Ghafara mean?
Forgiveness.
And when I say add Ista, so what do you think? Now, how are you gonna change the translation now?
Seek forgiveness.
Who is seeking?
He's
Exactly.
He
right?
sought forgiveness.
he is he is asking for forgiveness, he is begging for forgiveness, he is crying for forgiveness. Okay, because this is the family. This alif sin ta in the beginning, that is the giving the meaning of someone is begging. So istaghfara.
So he asked for forgiveness. This is going to be the past tense, and how I'm going to do the like the passive.
Forgiveness was asked, or forgiveness is being asked or begged. Okay, so forgiveness, and now depend that Madi or Mudariya. Forgiveness was begged, or you can say if present tense, forgiveness is being asked or being begged or being desired, whatever you want to say. Clear?
Yeah. So we're not going to mention in the translation while we're doing passive voice that it was forgiveness was begged by him or anything like it
No,
was,
by
we don't
him,
need to
no.
mention.
Passive,
we don't know.
Yeah, passive, we do not say the doer.
Yeah, we don't know the doer.
Okay, so that's why this forgiveness is basically the done to. This is the knife file, and this is the done to. What is being asked? Forgiveness, right? This is mafulun bihi. So this is what happens when we are turning something into passive, right? So
Okay,
forgiveness was begged or asked.
Exactly.
Right, okay. Okay, now fail lazim. If someone asks you what is fail lazim, so you should be just one quick sentence that this is intransitive verb, cannot take a mafulun bihi and cannot be made passive. That's it, simple and easy. Fail lazim cannot be turned into passive, and it does not need or cannot have mafulun bihi. That's why we cannot turn into passive. Fail mutaddi are transitive verb, and it can take a mafulun bihi and can be made passive. And then mutaddi li maf'ulaini mean a fail that take two mafulun bihi and can be made passive and have a both naifile and mafulun bihi. Right, so it's basically this is the summary what we learned so far. And now what is the topic here? Af'al meaning verbs, mutadiya like they are mutadi li maf'ulaini for two mafuls. So these are we are going to analyze these verb, these af'als which take two mafuls. So allama yu'allimu ta'liman, basically this is surf, and this is the conjugation that is called surf saghir. You know, we conjugate with all 14 pronouns, right? For example, nasara, huwa nasara, huma nasara, hum nasaru, right? All these 14 maful, 14 pronoun, we conjugate them, and that is called sarf kabir. Then we have sarf saghir, meaning saghir means short, right? Small. So then what kind of sarf it is? We just say how the madi of the fail. This is madi. This is mudariya, present tense. Then this is the masdar, or basically the noun. Okay. So this is the name of the action. So allama mean he taught. Yu'allimu mean he is teaching or he will teach. So present and future tense. And what is taliman? Taliman mean education. Right? So this is basically the name of the action. right? So allama, he taught. So teaching, and how I'm gonna name, I can say teaching or I can say education, right?
Education.
Right? So name of the action is basically called noun, or you can call in Arabic term, that is called masdar. So inshallah, very soon we are gonna start surf, and this is how we are going to talk about that. So allama yu'allimu ta'liman, and then one more is added in the surf. We will do surf sagir. Allama yu'allimu ta'liman fahuwa. So from that, the one who does the action, what is fahuwa? Fa, so huwa, he is, like the doer, fahuwa muallimun. What does that mean?
The
What is
teacher.
muallim?
Teacher.
Teacher.
So the
Right.
doer now, the one who's teaching.
Yeah. So allama, he taught, yuallimu, he is teaching or he will teach, taliman, education, right? Fahuwa, and from that, the one who teach is muallimun. Subhanallah. So just one word, if you know just one word, one verb, and then you would be able to change into present tense. You would be able to change into masdar, what is the noun of it, like what name I can give it to this action, and then who is the doer. Then we are going to we can do the passive, madi, mudariya, and we can have maf'ul even. That is called ism. This muallimun is called ism file. One file is like we have Nasara and Huwa is the file, but that one is called ism file, right? The noun, that is basically the doer.
The doer. Oh.
Subhanallah. So with knowing just one word, you would be able to create, I should say 100 words, and you do not need a dictionary for that. Just by knowing the pattern, you would be able to that, okay, for example, in Quran Pak, if you see the word muallimun, if you know the word allama mean he taught, then this mu in the beginning would let you know, oh, this is the basically the file, you like, this is the doer, and that is muallimun. This is how the surf gonna help us out with all the learning. Sometimes we come across a new word, and then just by looking at the, okay, this is on the pattern of this word, so that means this is what it is. And you do not even need a dictionary for that. So inshallah, keep working hard. I'm just trying to motivate you guys that inshallah, a lot more coming in our way to help us out to understand more. Okay, so just little more effort, and inshallah, that would worth it.
That makes so much sense, sister. I read ayah this morning on the Quran, and I can see right now what I read was the doer. At the end of the phrase was a doer.
Yeah, I'm telling you guys, inshallah, that will open the doors of vocabulary like it never did. The self, like it's the flood of vocabulary gonna be there, and just by knowing the pattern, you do not have to memorize, you do not have to learn each and every vocabulary word of Quran. Just by knowing the pattern, you would be able to translate it. So now allamahul bayan. So allamahul bayan. So how we can label this allamahu?
So allamahu.
Who is the naib file?
No, first you need
sorry,
to
the
allama.
Oh, allama, fail madi. And the who is the mafulun bihi.
No, Humara, I want to know about allama first. So you just fail madi is not good enough, right? Now we know more about fail madi. Is that regular madi or it is passive?
Regular.
It's
This is Malum. Madi Malum.
Malum.
Exactly. It's not ulima. It's not U and E sound. Right?
Yeah.
So then we cannot say that this is a majhul, and then we cannot say this who is naifal. Right? So this is a regular one. So you're gonna say failun madin failuhu
Huwa.
huwa. And what is this who?
And this who is the mafulun bihi.
Exactly. This who is mafulun bihi. And then al bayana, what is that?
Al bayana is the naib file.
No.
No.
Naifal should be rafa, Humaira.
It's the second
It is
maf'ul.
maful.
The
Mafulun
second
bihi.
mafulun bihi, I mean.
Yeah, and naifal is when?
So one that is
When it have
When
majhul
It has
form.
a
majhul.
When it's passive.
passive.
Exactly. Is allama passive?
No, no,
No.
it's
So
active.
that means naifal is not required here.
Yeah.
So this is basically we are kind of consumed so much about this passive and majhul now that even the regular look like majhul to us. Subhanallah.
Brain, right?
My brain is skittery now.
Brain is focused on the majhul now.
Yeah, so we need to come back and we need to apply whatever we learned even before majhul, right? So we should not consume all about like this passive and majhul thingy. So now allamahul bayan, so I'm gonna just label it failun madin failuhu huwa, this and then this who is mafulun bihi, number
Bihi.
one, right? Basically over here we are learning that fail mutaddi, because fail lazim does not need maful, right? So that is out of question. We are not talking about fail lazim now. We are talking about fail mutaddi, and fail mutaddi then can be categorized into many different kinds. One mutaddi, one kind of mutaddi can take just one maful, right? The other kind can take two mafuls, and even there are more. Like fail mutaddi, they required more than two mafuls, right? But we are talking over here fail mutaddi that takes two mafuls, and this is the example. So allama is fail mutaddi, right? And then who is one of its mafulun bihi, and bayana. Humaira, I really want you guys to know that you said bayan, you were calling it maful, naib file or file, right? So they are always should be rafa in status, right? Naib file and our regular file, always they need to be rafa. Al bayana, the fatha at the end is telling us that this is not rafa, right? Yes. So that's why we cannot think of that, okay, it could be our naib file or it could be our doer or file, right? Because this is clearly nasab in status. And when we have jumla failure, then mostly we need all mafuls, right? We can have one ism with dhamma, and what it could be? What it could be?
Outside doer.
Exactly. Outside doer. Okay. Otherwise, in jumla failure, we hardly should have anything that is rafa. Right? Okay. If I talk about jumla ismiya. Jumla ismiya, right? What do we need in jumla ismiya?
Mubtada.
What should be the status of mubtada?
Rafa.
Rafa.
Mhm.
What else do I need?
Khabar.
Khabar.
Proper.
What should be the
Rafa.
status of khabar?
Rafa.
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 What else do we need?
MBK.
MBK.
Talib Khabar.
Do we say any status for MBK?
No.
No.
MBK, since they are not since there is fail involved, there is preposition involved, or what is that, harf involved, right? So I know that harf gonna affect, right? But MBK does not have, we cannot say MBK should be Rafa, Nasab or Jar, right? So just leave MBK. So now what do you guys think? In Jumla Ismiya, what mostly we're gonna have?
Rafa.
Ism in what status?
Rafa.
Rafa.
Rafa. Okay. If you see anything in Jumla Ismiya, Nasab in status, do you think you are going to have anything Nasab in status in Jumla Ismiya?
No.
No. Because Nasab in status is basically Maful.
Mhm.
And Maful bihi is ingredient of Jumla Ismiya or Jumla Failure?
Jumla
Jumla
failure.
failure.
So that means in Jumla Ismiya, you are mostly looking Rafa, Rafa, Rafa. Right? Now, come to Jumla Failure now. What do we need?
Fail.
Fail.
File.
Does fail has any status?
Nasab.
Fail.
No.
Fail has
No, no status.
Fail does not have any status. This status business is with what? Only for ism.
So,
Not even harf. Harf cannot have any status.
Yes.
All these min, fi, an, ala, they do not have any status. They can make next ism jar into status, but harf does not, like they themselves does not have any status. Because they are not ism. They are what?
harf.
Harf. Harf does not have status. Only and only ism has status. Okay. So in Jumla Failure, our fail plus the file inside, right? And this file inside, it's not going to show us. This is basically inbuilt, and it's not going to show us Rafa status.
No.
Right? For example, I say Naswarna. What is this now over here?
It's the file.
File. Is it showing me that this is Rafa?
No,
No.
No.
it's
Right?
Mabni.
Exactly. So fail and file we need. What else do we need in Jumla Failure?
Mafulun bihi.
Maf'ulun bihi.
Maful. Not only maful,
Maf'ul.
mafulun
Maf'ul.
bihi, we need
Maf'ul.
all different
Mutalib.
kind of 5 mafuls can be there, right?
Yes, yes.
We need maful. And what status should be maful?
Nasab.
Nasab.
Nasab. Okay. So we need fail file, and if I see
Mutalib
anything in
bil-
Jumla Failure, Rafa. So mostly what do I need? Only mafuls in Jumla Failure, because fail does not have any status, right? File, if it is just like inside, so it's not gonna show me that this is Rafa. But if you really see any ism Rafa in status in Jumla
Yes.
Failure, then what it should be?
Outside doer.
Outside doer. Otherwise we do not have. Mostly what we need? Maful.
Maf'ul.
And maful should be nasab in status.
Mhm.
So in Jumla Failure, basically I'm trying to tell you guys that in Jumla Failure, you will mostly see nasab, nasab, nasab. Right? The ism, whatever ism should be in Jumla Failure, in regular Jumla Failure I'm talking about, always nasab, nasab, nasab you should find. And Jumla Ismiya, what should you mostly see? Rafa, Rafa, Rafa. Does it make sense to you guys?
Alhamdulillah.
So you should not forgetting that thing. This is basically the basic concept we should know about the difference of Jumla Ismiya and Jumla Fi'liya. If this difference is clear, then inshallah you will not then think, okay, anything is like when you are clear on what is Jumla Ismiya and what I need in Jumla Ismiya, then you will not label it differently. So Humaira, now you tell me, what ingredients do I need in Jumla Ismiya and how Jumla Ismiya should look like?
Okay. So
What is
Jumla
more
is
prominent in it?
sure, inshallah. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. In Jumla Ismiya, you look for Mubtada and Khabar. Mubtada and Khabar are always Rafa. And then you also look for MBK. In Jumla Fi'liya,
So mostly what is prominent in Jumla Ismiya?
Rafa.
Rafa. Okay, so you will not find anything nasab in Jumla Ismiya in a regular sentence. Now we need to know that, okay, Quran Pak is the words of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, speech of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It doesn't, it's not limited to our grammar rules, right?
Yes.
So there are exceptions. And we sometimes gonna see in Jumla Ismiya something nasab. And that is why, because basically the fail is hidden over there. And this maf'ulun bihi is, or what is the nasab status over there? Nasabism, that is basically because its fail is hidden over there. So that is exception. We are not talking about exception. But mostly in a regular Jumla Ismiya, we will not find anything nasab.
Yes. And in Jumla Fi'liya, we look for fail and file. Fail basically has no status. File, you look for inside door. And
File
you
could
also
be
look
inside or outside,
for outside
right?
door. And you also look for maf'ulun bihi or maf'ul, the 5 kinds of maf'ul, which are always in the status of nasab. And if there is any
Thing Rafa,
then you know that it's an outside door.
exactly. Otherwise, we do not need anything in Rafa, in Jumla Fi'liya.
Fi'liya.
So in Jumla Fi'liya, mostly we need to find ism nasab in status because we need maf'uls. Right? Fail file is just one word. Fail file is just one word because it could be inside the fail. Our file is inside the fail. So unless it is outside, then this is something extra, but mostly we need maf'ul, and maf'ul should be nasab in status. So we need maf'uls in Jumla Fi'liya. Okay, so now just a few example we can do together, label them, and inshallah rest you guys can try. So the first example is good, right?
Yes.
Okay, now the second, waqa mean to protect. Waqa, then yaqi, and then wiqayatan. And waqina azabanar, once I think I explained you guys, right? Just the word ki, that was fail amar, right? So basically this is the, these are the root letter for waqa. So waqa, and you see that the very first root letter is waw and last letter is ya. And you guys should know that waw and ya are considered weak root letter in any fail. So now we have 2 weak letters, only 1 sound letter in this verb. And that's why we will see that it's not going to conjugate in a regular way. So waqa, yaqi, and then it's wiqayatan. What is that? Masdar. Right? So waqa mean he protected, yaqi he will protect, and wiqayatan but do you, how are you going to translate?
Protection.
Protection.
Exactly. We are going to give the name to this action,
Subhanallah.
and that would be protection. Subhanallah. Right? So this is the masdar. Now this is the ism. See, waqa, yaqi, ye both are fail. And now we are creating ism out of it. And basically, you know, first is always masdar. And from masdar, we drive fi'l madi, mudariya, majhul, ism fa'il, ism maf'ul. So everything comes out from the masdar.
Subhanallah.
Subhanallah. So now, and okay, what would be the ism fa'il? Like we said, allama yuallimu taliman, and then comes muallimun. Muallimun, the one who teach. So waqa yaqi wiqayatan fahuwa waqin. Waqin, the one who protect.
So no meme in the beginning like muallim.
Yeah, that's a different one. The meme in the beginning is always with the big families. Do we remember big family and small families?
Yeah, the more than 3 letters, right?
Exactly. So with the big families, they always gonna start with mu when we are making this some file. But for the small families, no meme is required. So this is how it would be waqin, the one who protect. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala be our waqin. Okay, fawaqahumullahu. Now you guys should be labeling that. What is this fa?
Connector.
Oh, fa is connector. Very good. Then what is waqa?
Is
Is
fi'l madi.
Madi.
Failuhu.
Huwa.
Very good.
And home is
And we will
the
look for outside the word.
maf'ulun bihi.
Exactly. So whom is mafulun bihi. And
it's
what is the word Allahu?
It is
Outside word.
outside
the
door.
outside
File.
door.
Outside
waqa.
door. Very good. Okay, so this is the file of waqa.
Waqa.
And then sharra,
Mafulun bihi.
another mafulun bihi.
True.
Okay, so sharra is another mafulun bihi.
Mhm.
I should say mafulun bihi number 2. That was 1. And then sharra dhalika, are they related?
No, Zalika is Mushara.
No, but sharra and dhalika, are they related?
Yes, because it's mansoob.
Idafa, it becomes a idafa.
Shara Zalika. So mudaf lay.
Evil of
Exactly, because why I'm saying that they are related, Humaira? What make me think that they might be related?
Light. Because
From
shara
the-
is light.
Exactly.
from the evil,
Jazakallah
right?
khair.
Yeah.
Because
it's
sharra
idafa.
is light.
Light. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so whenever you see any ism light, then
Yes.
either it is partly
Idafa.
fixable or it is becoming a mudaf, because mudaf need to be light, right?
Yes.
There
yes.
is no other reason for any ism to be light. There should be some reason. A word, or I should say ism, should be always, what is the default state of any ism?
Heavy.
Rafa.
Heavy.
First.
Oh, yeah,
Rafa
heavy.
and heavy, right? So if we see something different, if we see any ism jar or nasab, then there should be reason for that. And if some ism is light, then there should be a reason for that, right? So now over here it is light, sharra. It could be sharran, doesn't hurt, right? Sharran could be the light, like the right grammar, but it is not sharran, it is sharra. So what is making it light? Because this is mudaf and dhalika is the mudaf ilayhi.
And al-yawma is badal.
Yes.
Also
Al-yawma could be the
could be
badal.
zarf.
Yes, exactly. Okay. And this is also after dhalika we have al. right? So is that musharun ilay for zalika?
It's a badal.
Badal, and yes, badal, we can say badal as well. But
Yeah,
do you remember
it is.
the basic concept of all these pointers? After the pointer, if you have al,
Yeah,
right,
that is
then this is the
Musharun
musharun
ilay.
ilay
Musharun
basically.
Sharon alay.
Okay, so this is the musharun ilay for zalika.
So,
So that's why we're gonna say that day. We are not saying that is a day. If there is no al, then it will be a sentence, right?
yes.
So then it will be that is a day. But we are saying that day. So that is basically a fragment, pointer fragment over here. Okay. So Allah protected them from the evil of that day. Now you see that for waqaf, this is fail and file, right? Hum mafulun bihi, since this is a attached pronoun, right? So basically it is not going to show its nasab status in a different way. They are mabni, right? Now the word Allahu, now in Jumla Failya, I'm seeing something wrong.
What's the outside door?
Look like we lost Sarahat.
Maybe she lost her connection.
Yeah, no, her connection is there. To voice maybe. I don't know. Let's see her. Yeah.
Ya Allah.
Okay. What is my phone? Just send her a text. Hopefully she's gonna read it.
Subhanallah, Quran is like an ocean.
Yeah, that's true. That is. One can spend his entire life studying it. You would not be able to dissect it entirely.
Sister Rahat, we cannot hear you.
I sent her a text, so hopefully she's gonna read the text. I don't know. Maybe she has some sort of connection issues. I'll try to call her. Sister, yeah, okay. The volume is gone. Okay.
Sorry, what happened?
No, she's trying to fix it. She just disconnected.
Yes, sorry. The Zoom logged me off somehow.
Oh yeah. Oh, okay.
So you guys are able to see the screen, or I need to share?
Now, no. Now, no,
Okay.
we cannot see it.
Need to share again then.
Okay. Yeah, now, alhamdulillah. we
Okay.
can see it.
Okay. So everyone is clear? فَوَقَاهُمُ اللَّهُ شَرَّ ذَلِكَ الْيَوْمَ.
Yes.
I think,
See, only one thing, Rafa, you find here, and basically this is the file outside doer, right? Otherwise, it should be nasab in jumla failure. Mostly we should find things or isam in nasab in status, and there should be different kinds of maf'ul.
And she said, Shara Zalikal Yomi would be MBF.
Why MBF? Is that
Isn't
jar
it-
majroor fragment?
Oh, no. Yeah, it's not Jar Majroor. It's Idafa, sorry.
Yeah, so this is just simple maf'ulun bihi. The whole thing, Sharra Zalikal Yoma, is maf'ulun bihi number 2. Okay?
Okay. It's Shara Zalikal Yomi, that makes me think, oh, it's maybe Jar Majroor. So sorry.
No,
Yeah,
there is no harfu
it's
jar here.
Idafa.
Yeah, this is idafa.
So
Okay.
the whole
Whole sentence Shara Zalikal Yawma will be maf'ulun bihi or just Shara?
Exactly. Yeah, no. Why Sharra, Humara? You tell me. Is Sharra by itself? Sharra is mudaf, right?
Yes.
Mudaf
yes,
need
yes.
mudaf ilayhi.
Okay. Connected.
And then
Yes.
this mudaf ilayhi is basically ismul ishara and then musharun ilayhi. So basically they are one bucket. They are
Yes.
attached. They are changed together.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so you cannot separate them.
Mm-hmm.
That's why the whole thing is maf'ulun bihi. One word, one basically maf'ul. Okay. Now next one, number 3. Do you guys think that we should move on, or it's anyone? You guys are fine. Otherwise, I can take 10 more. It's all
That's
up to
fine.
you. Huh?
At least this, let's do this sentence for what
Okay.
interesting.
The next one, you mean, right? Yeah. So
Yes.
number 3, waffa. Waffa, yuwafi. And again, you see, it's same like we did the previous one. So it has waw, weak letter, and then ya, weak letter. That's why it's gonna conjugate differently. So waffa, yuwafi, and basically, you know, this is on the pattern of allama, yuallimu. See the shadda? This shadda is telling me that this is allama yuallimu family. So waffa, yuwafi. And then tawfiyatan. Okay, so waffa mean to give someone full share of something, right? So waffa, yuwafi, and now tawfiyatan. Now, how are you gonna translate this masdar here?
Share, like just share.
Share, or we can say compensation,
Yeah.
right? Compensation, one word. So wajada, what kind of fail it is? Wajada, this waw is extra, not extra, sorry, ataf. Okay, so this is ataf, and then wajada, this is the word.
Found.
Madi.
Yujidu.
So failun madin failuhu
Huwa.
huwa. And then the word Allah
Is the
Maf'ul
first
bihi.
maf'ulun
That's
bihi.
Maf'ulun bihi.
exactly. So this is maf'ulun bihi, number 1. So wajada is the fail that need more than one maf'ulun bihi. So that's why the one is Allah. Then in the who.
Inda is the zarf. Wawa mudaf.
And see, and this
And-
is in the who.
Who and who is mudaf ilayhi?
Yeah. So, and he found Allah at it, like near it,
Near it.
close to him. We can say it depends what is the ayah saying, what is the context. So this is one maf'ul in the who. This is special mudaf. This is zarf fragment, which we should give the label of MB.
Okay.
F.
MBF.
F.
Sorry,
We are
MBF.
not into K.
Yeah. F.
We are
Sorry.
into F. Okay. So this is MBF. And then فَوَفَّاهُ حِسَابَهُ.
So fa is
Fail
How is
Madi.
ataf? How is ataf?
Yeah,
And
fa is
waf-
ataf.
Fa is ataf, yeah. Wafa is the
Wafa is
fail Madi.
Madi.
File
Madi malum.
huwa file.
Fail huwa.
Failuhu
And
huwa
the next who
Who is
is mafulun bihi.
maf'ulun bihi.
Exactly. So this who is mafulun bihi number 1. And where is the other maful? Because wafa needs two maful.
Hisabahu.
Hisaba,
Bahu.
right?
Hisaba.
Hisabahu, his hisab, his reckoning. So that is mafulun bihi number 2. So this basically, if we just take this part of the sentence, fawafahu, so this is fail file, this who is mafulun bihi, and then hisabahu, another mafulun bihi number 2. So he gave to him in full his reckoning. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is basically, he's saying that whatever we do, we know that even the particle of dust, I should say, right? The smallest particle we can think of, that much khair or shar will not remain without giving the reward or punishment of it. Right? So completely, we cannot even imagine in this world, no punishment and reward could be given like that, the way Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give. So makes sense so far?
Alhamdulillah.
Okay, so you guys are going to try this, and let me see what else do we have here. Oh, I put okay, this is basically just the vocabulary. And this ayah, I think, what was the part of it? This one is Falamma Ra'athu or Lujjatan, I think. That is the ayah I put over here, so you can see the whole ayah. Which one is it? This one here, Hasiba. So the whole ayah is on the next page. So inshallah, you try your best, and if you guys have any question, then we can discuss them before our next class.
Sister,
Okay, next
can I
class gonna
please-
be, I think, a different concept. That is basically Nunu Sakila we are going to learn. So inshallah, let me end the class here.
Sister Rahat, can I please have
Slide number 5.
Okay, let me end the class and then inshallah. Barakallahu li wa lakum fil Quranil Hakim wa nafani wa iyyakum bi ayati wa dhikril hakim. Subhanaka Allahumma wa bihamdika nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta wa nastaghfiruka wa nastaghfiruka wa nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifuna wa salamun alal mursalin walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin.